Show Me the Money, Dealmaking and Development in the DPRK, and News Podcast Episode .178. And Foster Carter discusses North Korea's spending habits, sports diplomacy, and the Trump summit. Until about the mid-1970s, North Korea's economy actually outpaced that of the South. Since then, it has been on a downward spiral, somewhat from the collapse of the communist bloc, but more than anything, due to the DPRK's poor decision-making. In this episode of the North Korea News Podcast, Drive, Aidan Foster Carter details his decades-long observation of the North Korean economy, his evaluation of the Inter-Korean Summit, and what needs to happen next in order to make real positive gains between the two Koreas. Aidan Foster Carter is an honorary senior research fellow in sociology and modern Korea at Leeds. He is also a freelance analyst and consultant, covering the politics and economics of both South and North Korea for, amongst others, The Economist Intelligence Unit, Oxford Analytica, and BBC World Service. A prolific writer on and frequent visitor to the Korean peninsula, he has lectured on Korean and kindred topics to varied audiences in 20 countries on every continent. About the podcast, the North Korea News Podcast is a weekly podcast hosted exclusively by NK News, covering all things DPRK, from news to extended interviews with leading experts and analysts in the field and insight from our very own journalists. Want to gain instant access to breaking news stories and in-depth analysis discussed in our podcast? You can sign up for an annual NK News subscription, and save $50 by using promo code PODCAST at checkout. https://media.blubbery.com/inknews/p/tv.inknews.org/podcast/north-korea-news-podcast/episode 17-dealmaking-and-development.mp3 podcast play in new window. Download. Duration, 37:01, 34.7 megabytes. Embed. You can also find the North Korea News Podcast in